What's the best way to quantify my path towards improvement? Some would quickly shout, lap time, but I think there's more to it than that. Sure, lap times are the easiest metric we can all reference, and maybe it is that simple. After all, the goal is to beat the clock, right? But what if sometimes, in order to make leaps of improvement, you first must need to make no improvement? In this video, I'm going to compare my performance from two separate track days on the same bike in the same conditions. Seeking to answer the original question, I will attempt to connect feelings on the bike with the information from the ultimate lie detector. So, we're here at Talladega GP. It's just going to be a chill track day. I need to get freaking comfy on this bike. So I came to a track that I'm most comfortable at. But anyway, you guys, yeah, I'm just burning off some takeoffs and trying to find that magic again. Or what I perceive as magic. Like, obviously, I've never set the world on fire with my speed. But at the same time, you know, not slow. It's just not as fast as I should be. And of course, I've said stuff about, like, you know, Moto America. And I know a lot of guys they laugh about that one. And that's fine. Yeah. Let's just go have fun. Let's do that. Let's remember why we ride. So I just came off track from our first session after lunch, and the SE0 is done. No grip. Going into turn one, it's like I'm backing it into turn one. So you go to try to like turn it straight because you have no rear, and that's scary, guys. Anyway, new tire. Who's that guy? Okay, so while I'm changing the tire, let's talk about a few things that actually are going on at this track day. Of course, I'm sitting here trying to go faster with used tires, and that's going to be a problem. You're never going to be able to go as fast as you can on a used tire than what you would on a brand new tire. However, there are things you can learn about. For instance, the rear sets on my bike at that time were not very good. I was using this kind of like BMW aftermarket Gillis rear set, okay? Not necessarily that bad, but for me, they weren't that good. The adjustment range is kind of limited, and the peg isn't actually that grippy, so I wasn't able to hold on very well. So I switched over to Vortex. So in September of 2023, which is when this first part was, I was working with some outdated equipment. Okay, so we just got off the first session. The peg for the shifter is in the wrong spot, so I was trying to get my foot over top of it to shift down. It's just too high, so I got to adjust it. Now I had a false neutral going into turn two. That's because I got scared. I tried to downshift one more, and the bike just went and completely went silent. Fortunately, it was still running. I thought maybe I popped the chain off. Yeah, so the Vortex rear sets are nice. Just gotta move the peg. Easy day. All right, guys, thanks for sticking around for so long. Hey, look, I really appreciate you being here. We're gonna check out some data here in just a second, but I wanna give you guys a discount code from my store, fullgasproducts.com. We're gonna give a 10% discount on all Vortex products. If you're watching this video, I don't care if it's 10 years from now, if I'm still in business, you know, it'll still be active, okay? This will never go away. So it's gonna be 10% off Vortex products at my store. So anyway, check that out. The discount code is gonna be Vortex10. It's gonna be right here. So check out the store, www.fullgasproducts.com. Thank you very much. Learning the bike's traction control was one of the key factors in September that really helped me move forward in February. I didn't really have a good understanding of them because they weren't on. Now I know that sounds obvious, but the thing is I thought they were on all the previous races and track days I had done before that. So I've been riding the bike wide open up to that point. So now with the traction control on, I could actually feel something in the electronics where when you hold the gas on, you get this hesitation or hold back of power, and then the bike would go. Okay, so that one went a little bit better, went a little bit faster, 107 flat. Let's see, this thing, this tank shroud thing makes the bike work. It's incredible. It actually, like, you fit into the bike so much better. Okay, so the thing about the tank shroud is actually how you engage with the bike with your legs, okay? So with your leg like that, obviously you're riding along and you're gonna be braking on the side of your leg like that. And with the tank shroud, the way it's shaped, it's actually going to be reaching more into your inner thigh and get a lot of extra real estate, which is super important for when you're on the brakes. So that shape of the tank and how it engages on your inner thigh and actually how your whole leg can actually press into this while you're on the brakes and you're actually off the side of the bike, because you should be braking on one side or the other. You should never be braking directly in line with the motorcycle. That shroud right there, even though it's only a little bit, it's only extending like, you know, maybe a couple inches right here, but that's enough that brings your whole leg in. Alpha Racing did an outstanding job with that, and it really lets you fit the bike. And when you fit the bike like that, you're comfortable. When you're comfortable, you're confident, and that's when speed comes. Hey guys, thanks for sticking around the video so far. Hey, I really appreciate you being here. If you wouldn't mind awfully, hit that like button. Maybe subscribe if you haven't subscribed before. This channel is built solely off of you guys, and it's built solely for you guys. So what we're going to do is take a look at these two laps, okay? So the lap in September was this 105.657, and the lap in February was this 105.479. Why were there no improvements? Yet there were improvements. It's kind of odd, right? So the way I see these improvements is we're setting up ergonomics, we're setting up understanding of the bike. And if you look here at this data, it looks kind of funny with all these squiggly lines. They are differentiated a little bit. You can see some things. So first of all, the faster lap is red, all right? Slower lap is green. Slower lap was earlier, but it was only by a few hundred, so it's not that big a deal. But what we can see in here is some interesting stuff when it comes to the traction control and some other things. First of all, you'll notice there's some areas that look kind of funny, and to me this is what sticks out in my mind, like these gaps, okay? Now, this is GPS speed. This is speed 1, which is the rear wheel, okay? So this is what matters, and this is things I like to look at when I'm getting in here. So check this out, right? We're gonna come over here, I'm gonna take my little bar and slide it over, and you see these little like shark teeth thing there going on right there, okay? So I'm on the throttle right there, you can see it, my actuator position sensor, which is the gas, and you can see these like little shark teeth right at the beginning, and then a little bit more. That's the tire gripping and letting go, okay? And you can see it again in the final corner right here. So if I come over there, you see a little arrow right there. This is all on the front straight. As soon as you come out of that second little dip, as you go from farmhouse and you have that little like flip-flop thing that's not really a flip-flop, but you kind of stand up and then drop again. Once you drop again like that, that's where you get a lot of pumping, a lot of like shock movement and stuff like that, and that's what this is right here. If I take in, let me fit this on here again. Okay, you can see the brake line right here. Now, these weren't calibrated, okay? So it's not so much the position on the graph, but the shape of it. So the shapes are not that bad. I seem to be kind of going to the brakes pretty straightforward in the heavy braking zone, especially down here in turn 2. This is what turn 2 is technically this little like kink or whatever, and this is technically turn 3, but we're gonna call this turn 2 because it's the second real turn on the track. And you can see I go out the brakes pretty straightforward and then let them off really kind of gradually, which is not bad, right? Same here in this green line. So on the slower lap, I actually did a better kind of braking situation here into the right-hander, right? But a lot of them are a little boxy, a little bit squared off. I don't like that, so we got to fix that, okay? Down here on the throttle line, what I'm doing with my hand, it actually looks pretty good, right? So we open the throttle. The initial throttle is man, I'll tell you what, on point. The initial throttle is not bad. You know, we're coming up, we're getting to about 15%, and then we're kind of holding it for a maintenance throttle, and then we're opening it up nice and smooth, and then once we're finished accelerating, we let it off, right? Obviously, I'm not going to full gas. that's a problem. So there's a whole lot of reasons for that, and I'm not going to really dive too much into that because it has to do with basically I'm not a man. Anyway, let's get into something else though, something that I do find interesting. Up here in the top, you're going to see this little like, carpenter square and a time thing. So time and space axis. If I press that, all of a sudden down here at the bottom, this is space. So it's physically where you are on the track. And this is where I like looking more than anything else because I can see when I'm braking versus not. So right here, if you look at this point, you can see I'm letting off the gas and applying brakes almost instantaneously right there. On this one, I'm off the gas and then I'm applying brakes very slowly. So there's some coasting going on in there. And even though it's not much, that's enough to lose a little bit of time. So this braking section and acceleration section right here, which is into the second corner, okay, that was a big area of improvement for time on this particular lap. Another thing you can look at here is where I'm opening the gas seems to be a little bit sooner on the green lap, but I'm also letting off sooner, okay? So I'm opening the gas later, which means I'm getting my speed and direction later, which means I'm probably developing better lines. So if you look at, let's see, if we go up here around to the right-hander, right there, zoom in on that, yes. But we want to zoom in on the map. So we're going to come down here. Nope, I want to zoom in. You can see my line preference is very different here on the right-hander. So you can see I'm cutting a tighter line. So with the bike setup and the ergonomics and that type of thing, I did a little bit better on entry with that bike. It actually wanted to turn in and then go around a corner, whereas before it was just locked up. Now it could have been me on the bars, just but I don't think so. I think it was really the bike turned better, and I had made some suspension adjustments, which I didn't really talk about because that gets into some minutia, and you guys are going to start quoting me, and it's going to be a problem. But my line preference here, I really like my line preference. It's much more of a V, even though it doesn't look anything like a V. It's much more of a wider arcing line and coming back to the exit of the right-hander, which is really important. So, big one here. Am I going full throttle? No, I'm not going full throttle. What's the highest throttle percentage we went in here? Double click, 93. I actually, on my slower or faster lap, I did not open the gas as much as my slower lap. Isn't that interesting? That's fun. What else? We got some coasting going on. Definitely some coasting over here in this turn 2 kind of area. Let's look at something else, traction control. So we're going to open visualization channels. This is one way to do it. We are going to turn off brake because we don't need to look at that right now. And I'm going to turn off GPS speed. Okay, here we go. It's a better way to do it. Turn off GPS speed because speed 1, rear wheel speed is all we need to know. So there's TC. We're going to see the intervention. And then I want to see something else. Slip, which is actually the calculated difference between the rear wheel and the front wheel. And that's what indicates when to turn on. That's what the TC does. So you can see here we get up around the 20 threshold and all of a sudden stuff starts popping off, right? So TC wasn't really doing anything throughout this whole situation, especially even like here in the doggone it. I'm trying to go like this. Stop. Turn 2. That's what I'm trying to get at. Yeah. So turn 2, TC wasn't even active. So that's some area that I really like. I'm kind of gentle on the throttle there because I've seen guys high side out of there and it just jacks in my brain. Right here, you do have the rear wheel going up and down. You can see it drops and then picks up and then drops and then picks up. So the spike, the up, that is rear wheel spinning. Like right here, you can see it's spiking up on the exit and then drops. So that's something where as I'm picking up the gas, I can get a spin and then it catches again. That's where it suddenly drops back down because it has traction and it slows down again. So these are things to be concerned about when you're actually looking at a race lap. This is not a race lap. These are used tires, so you're going to have all that. But overall, it doesn't look that bad. Let's see what the lean angle looks like. Nope, go away. If you go off of the IMU, you get a better looking thing because it's got probably a better looking stuff. So highest lean angle, 52-ish, something like that. Where's this one over here? 50 or whatever in the right-hander. Okay. Let's get that away. Yeah, so see, this is where you pop it back up again for a farmhouse. Yeah, right there. So right there for farmhouse, you actually pick the bike up. So you're at like 50-ish, right? And you go boink, you pop it up real quick, and then you drop it back down again to make that second turn. That's fun. So anyway, just something to show you guys. So yeah, that's it, guys. It looks like I've got some things to improve on, and because I do know what has happened since then, improvements were made by quite a lot, in fact. So if you enjoyed this video, thank you very much. Hit that like button, hit subscribe, all those good, happy stuff. Comment, please. I want to know what you guys think. If you think this is cool, if this is a waste of time, whatever. I want to know exactly what you think, especially if it's a negative comment. I want to know the bad stuff, okay? If I don't know the bad stuff, I can't improve, right? Right? I mean, you guys know what's going on. Help me improve. Let's go. See you later.